Goon Squad, what's going on? It's your boy Sal. We are continuing our 2023 NBA season preview. If you haven't checked us out yet, what we're doing is all 30 teams in the NBA. We're doing a 10-minute or less preview. We're talking about fantasy relevant players. We're talking about win totals, who's in on the team, who's out, what are the changes, talking about rookies, and what we can just generally expect from this team going into the 2023 season. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Goon Squad, we are talking about the Washington Wizards today. Not the highest, uh, highest profile team here. They've got a lot of changes, though. A lot of big roster changes here. Rebuilding team. Let's get into it. We got the big outgoing players. Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis, Bradley Beal going to the Suns to play third fiddle behind Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Not hating, but going to be interesting to see how that works out there. Kristaps Porzingis going to the Celtics. Kendrick Nunn, Monte Morris, Jordan Goodwin, all these guys going out as well. And in for the Washington Wizards is the main player here, Jordan Poole, definitely the new star of this team. I use that term star loosely, but this guy can fill it up. We'll talk about that in a minute. They've got Tyus Jones here. They've got Bilal Coulibaly. Potential steal of the draft. Patrick Baldwin Jr., Landry Shamet, and Gallinari are here as well. Not sure if they'll play. Gallinari is probably still recovering from his, I believe it was an ACL injury last year. He's a bigger guy, so we probably don't expect him to play for the Wizards, but who knows? Maybe down the line they give him some run when he's healthy. So it's going to be interesting. I expect the Wizards to continue to make more moves throughout the season as well. But let's get into it. What do we got here? Over under 24.5 wins for the Wizards. That's low, but it sounds about right. Washington Wizards, like this team is not going to win a ton of games by any stretch. But I do see them potentially hitting 25 wins. Look, this team can score. If they find a way to be cohesive in that team composition, some way or another, I could see them hitting 25 wins. Like if you remember last year, the Utah Jazz, no one expected that team to win anything at all, right? Like they lost Gobert, they lost Donovan Mitchell, and last year they had a mismatch, group of players, and the Utah Jazz actually ended up with like 35, 36 wins or something like that, maybe even 37. And everyone was really surprised by that. I could see that to a lesser extent with this Washington Wizards. I could see them hitting 25, 26 wins just based on big gains from Jordan Poole, improvement from Denny Avdia, improvement from, Tyus Jones just running the point. So improvement at that point guard position and just some of the depth really showing out. Kyle Kuzma is always a, great fantasy player. Kyle Kuzma is probably going to take a step up on offense, and he'll be that second option behind Jordan Poole or potentially competing for primary option. He can fill it up in the points category in rebounding. His percentages are decent, and I expect him to maybe take a step up just overall his game this year. So with Kyle Kuzma being drafted at ADP of 82, I kind of like that. I like him, right there in that 80 range, but I wouldn't be upset if anybody decided to reach for him, around early, especially if you need that rebounding or high scoring potential. So, yeah, definitely, some interesting players here in the fantasy outlook. Obviously, Jordan Poole's the big one, being drafted top 50. Could easily outperform that top 50 ADP. I'm talking about big 30-point, 40-point games every now and then. His percentages are probably not going to be good this year. He's kind of shown an ability to score a high percentage clip, inconsistently though. For certain stretches, which is going to be really interesting. He does get hot, but obviously there are cold streaks as well. I think that he is a perfectly fine gamble at that top 50 range, and could easily have a top 40 maybe even top 35 season just based off that insane scoring. If he's seeing, if he's seeing heavy focus from the defense, he's not that he's like the best passer, but he's able to pass a little bit, and I could see him, definitely racking up some, complimentary assists. Nothing crazy, but yeah, Jordan Poole is interesting. I like him, and I think that he is actually, worth some of the hype that he's getting as a top 50 fantasy player on his own team, right? Daniel Gafford, um, ADP 100. It's just a solid center, man. He can block shots. He can rebound. He can score a little bit. He will get option. He will get the ball. He will have the opportunity to show him and prove himself as a, maybe a top 80, top 70 player overall fantasy wise, but just remains to be seen. I believe he has had some health issues throughout the years, so just worth keeping an eye on. But I really do like him, and he is, comes across as someone who does really work on his game during the off season. We've seen him improve in certain areas over the years, and so yeah, Daniel Gafford, good gamble, especially if you miss out on some of the centers a little bit earlier in that late like seventh, eighth round type range. Tyus Jones, definitely like him here. He is gonna play heavy minutes. He is gonna distribute the ball. He's a really productive point guard who plays the game the right way. If you're a point guard yourself, you definitely know this guy's got vision. He can run the offense, and he's gonna be that missing link that really keeps this team together, right? Because if it was just Jordan Poole running the show himself, then it'd be the Poole show. No one else would touch the ball. He'd be thinking doing his best prime Kobe impression, but breaking more than half the shots. But I think that Tyus Jones is going to be that distributor, and keep everyone on the same page, keep that cohesiveness, and he'll be the reason that this team surpasses that 25 wins, which is not saying much, but still. Delon Wright, obviously, keep an eye out for him on the wire. Obviously, don't draft him, but this guy always finds a way to relevance due to his high steal production. 1.5 steals or whatever, maybe a little bit more on any given, any day, any season, whatever. If he's healthy, he's producing steals, and he is a little bit older than the rest of these guys, but I think he can actually, have show out a little bit, take a step up in his game, and really improve. In a dynasty league, I'm definitely looking at Avdia and Kispert, especially at that one. Like those ADPs are low for these guys in any type of keeper or dynasty setting. Both these guys could take major steps up this season. Avdia is a well-rounded player who really hasn't had the opportunity to really show out and prove that he is what he was when he got drafted. Like, he was drafted as this like NBA ready, complete player, points, rebounds, assists, solid defense, all that. But we don't really know yet. But keep an eye out for him. Corey Kispert, pure shooter. I like him to take a big step up here. I think he's a starting shooting guard, or small forward, really, I guess, with Jordan Poole, a shooting guard. And I like him. Keep an eye out for him. If he's shooting at a high clip and he's getting enough shots, which he should, he will be worth owning in fantasy leagues. Obviously, make sure he's heating up first. We have seen him go on cold streaks before, but he's a high percentage shooter. Bilal Coulibaly, potential steal of the draft. I mean, there's a few steals of the draft. Obviously, Cam Whitmore, in the discussion as well, but there was a reporter the other day who said that if Bilal Coulibaly, if his last name was Thompson and he played in the overtime elite, then he would have gone top 5 in the draft. Probably true. This guy is a small forward, but grew up a guard, hit a growth spurt, played with Wemby, and definitely a steal. So I think that if you are looking at a late round rookie to take a gamble on, this is that guy, because he can actually fill it up on the defensive end as well with his steals and blocks. So yeah, Bilal Coulibaly, remember the name. You heard it here first. This guy actually has a long shot of winning Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. I think the opportunity is there. So yeah. Washington, it's a rebuild season. I expect them to make more moves. I expect them to surprise some people on some days and be absolutely terrible on other days. I do like them to surpass that 25 wins, but not by much. And yeah, if you're a Wizards fan, I think you can just be happy that the Bradley Beal era is over and you guys are moving on. So yeah, that is a wrap on our Washington Wizards 2023 season preview. I said it before, I'll say it again. Like, subscribe below because we're doing this for all 30 teams. 10 minutes or less, we're going to talk about fantasy outlook, win totals, just talk about the vibes of the team in general, and who's in and who's out, and all of that. So, yeah, subscribe below. Check out some of the other team previews that we've done. And shout out Tenement Cards. They are our sponsor. They do fractional asset-backed collectibles, making it easy to own your favorite players, collectible rookie card or whatever it is, and all at a fractional price point of, $5 for 1,000, cards worth thousands of dollars. So it's really, really interesting. Check it out, tenement.com, or obviously visit Tenement Cards on Instagram. And yeah, thank you for joining us. I am Sal, your host today for the Game Day Goons. Shout out to all of you guys, the viewers. And yeah, Game Day Goons, we out. Peace.